Did you know that small businesses are losing thousands, tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars every year just because they've missed a phone call? It's true. So it depends on the type of business that you're in, of course. But imagine if you are a service business and the customer behavior is such that they're just going to call around to look for a quote or opening hours or to book an appointment with you. Well, if you don't answer your phone, most consumers, 85% of them, are just going to continue to call around. And so that sale or potential sale could be going to your competitor. So, how can we nip that in the bud? Well, I've got a solution for that. So, if you want to see how you can maximize the opportunities to increase sales, then grab your coffee or your drink of choice and meet me at the computer. Okay, so here we are at the computer, and I'm on the OpenPhone website. So OpenPhone, this is, as it says here, right, is the best phone system for teams, but it really is a collaborative phone system, bringing customer calls and texts and contacts into one sort of platform. So these prices, honestly, they're phenomenal. I've done my research. You know your girl. All about saving money where we can, but not just saving money for the sake of it, because we're not compromising on features at all. These features are incredible, especially for this price, and I've done my research, like I said. Now, the wonderful folks at OpenPhone, you can try for free, but they're giving my viewers 10% off for the first 3 months. And it's not going to impact the pricing. It's not going to artificially jack up the price. There you go. So this is it. If you want to learn more about it, there is a demo they have. So let's go check that out. So right here, it's about 20 minutes long. It's a great video. But yeah, it also, the nice thing about this is that you can actually integrate this with automation tools, right? Now in here, if you go into the back end, in the general area, you've got, this is just the general space. You can kind of put in your own information, plans and billing, integrations. Look at all of these, right? So if you have a HubSpot or Salesforce, you're going to need to have a business account or next tier account, which is fine. But the Trust Center, these are the two really important things. It's going to take about, I don't know, a couple of days, maybe up to 5 days for these to clear. So the brand registration, that verifies it's your business identity with carriers, so that like this is legit business. And then the campaign registration, just saying, you know, this is what I'm using this for. You're not going to spam folks. So, but like I said, that takes a couple of days to go through. Now, here are some really cool things with the business account. You can auto record calls, call transcripts, which is great if you need to do some analysis. The international, I don't need in Canada for now. What's cool too is you can bake all of these sorts of features in and send auto replies. So if somebody calls and they don't get an answer, you can text them immediately back right through OpenPhone. No need for anything else. You can set your business hours so that, you know, you can send dynamic messages depending on if you're in or out, if you want to have separate messages. So this is for after hours. Let's listen.
Hi, thanks for your call. Sorry, but we're closed right now. Please leave us a message and we'll get back to you as soon as we open. Thank you.
So I think that's pretty good. Now you can change that. You can upload a file, record, or do a text to speech. You can change it. I think this is fantastic, really, but you can change it, like I said. For unanswered calls when you're in, here's the other outgoing greeting. Of course, you can change this, but here we go.
Hello, thank you for your call today. Please leave a message and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.
It's very similar, just a slight tweak because it's a different time of day, but you can transcribe your voicemail. You can filter for profanity if you want. But here, if you do miss a call, you can also send text messages. So whether it's during business hours, after business hours, like we're closed, whatever. So you can set these up. The standard text messages are fine. So whatever you would like to do. So the first one is, we'll get back to you shortly. And the next one is, how can we help? And this is going to be important to remember, like the how can we help? But if you want to, you can also change these messages to something that might be a little bit more your speed. You can choose all or none of these. A separate message for after hours, like we're not in the office right now. right? We're off for the day, but we'll get back to you soon, as this one says. Um, and you, like I said, you can use these, just highlight that text, and you can change it up, right? So you could put in things like your Calendly link or whatever. So how can we help? And like you can have that. So I'm going to demo in a little bit how this all looks, but now you could also integrate with your Slack or connect your, don't delete your account though, because once you do that, you can't undo it. You'll start from scratch all over again. So this is what it is. So I'm going to demo this, but I'm going to have to pause and do this because I use my phone to record. So let's check it out. Okay, so here I am. This is my phone. I'm just screen recording, and I'm going to post edit, put these together. And it's calling. Now, unfortunately, I can't record video myself with this because this is the very phone that I'm running this test with. So I'm going to have to flip back and forth, but that's okay. I didn't get through, so just hung up, but you're going to see here, look, it's just come up there, and there's my number. And I got a text message, and there it is on my phone. Pretty slick, if you ask me. So now I can say, what time do you open? And see, now I get the out of office after hours message. So this isn't really what I want. We're going to end up going to make.com so that we can actually have a full-on conversation. So here I'm like, okay, but what time do you open? Because it didn't actually answer the question, did it? So we're going to go to make.com so that we can have a back and forth conversation with our customers if you happen to be out of the office. Okay, so here we are right here. Now what you can do as well, just one last thing within here, you can start to change these around as you're testing. So test for yourself. Think of all of the different scenarios that you have. So say if you are like in plumbing, you may need to have an emergency line. An extra line, by the way, is only an extra $5 a month. But you may want to allow your customers to reach you at any time and be able to go back and forth. If you have a different type of a business, like say a hairdresser or a massage therapy business, you might just prefer to say, hey, sorry we missed your call. Here's my calendar, feel free to book me in this Calendly link. So you don't have to, when we say, how can we help? That's almost eliciting another question, right? This back and forth conversation. So you could have it just as an acknowledgement and call to action or something like that. So it's up to you. But again, up here, you can, for another $5 a month, honest to goodness, you can get say an emergency line to forward your calls. But if you click on this, you can see all incoming calls will be forwarded to this number. Please note that business hours auto replies that won't be enabled anymore if you forward it. So FYI. Okay, so here we are in make.com. We can create a new scenario. So one of the things that really sold me on OpenPhone, honestly, is that it integrates so seamlessly with make.com. So in here, if we start a new scenario, and the first module, you can just type in open for OpenPhone. There we go. And what we're going to do, the trigger is going to be watching new messages. So remember we said, how can we help you today? It's the response that we're going to watch for. So watch new messages. That's it. Now here you can create a webhook. I've already got a connection. So you just click in here, even if you already have a connection, and I'll show you that in just a second. But the event that we can look for is message received, message delivered. You can select both, whatever kind of suits for you. But what we're going to do here, although we're just looking for message received, we're going to select all. We're going to click, there we go, save. And then if you click OK, you can show the address here for the webhook. And this is how easy it is. Show the address, copy the address to the clipboard, and then go back into OpenPhone, into settings, and then go into the webhooks area. And you can create a webhook. Now I've got one right here, make.com, and that's pretty much it. That's how you set up your connection. It's so simple. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to put in a router, because it's what we're going to say is, depending on what they come back with, that's what we're going to respond to, is the question they've asked. So to do that, on this line, you right click and you can set up a filter. So say if somebody's asking about your hours of operation, or to book an appointment, or whatever suits your business, there you go. But the problem is, we don't have anything in here yet. We don't have a new message. So if we click in here, like when in the mapping itself, there's nothing here for us to pull from. So what I'm going to do is I will have to call using this phone that I'm recording with to show you kind of how that works. So if you kind of give me just a second here, what I'll do is I'm going to pause this, but I'll do a voiceover. So hold on. Okay, so here I am in my OpenPhone. Now I've kind of cleared out the previous call. Actually, it's just in the, and there we go, calling. You can see it coming up on my computer as a notification, which is kind of cool. There. So this is a missed call, but you can see on the right-hand side here, hey, sorry I missed your call. How can we help? So, okay, I'm going to screen record my phone as well so that we can, that nothing's going to happen here yet. So you can see, I'm going to text back because I got this on my phone that I normally record with. So I'm going to just say test. There we go. And then click a send on that one. Boom. And it's come up. So now we've got this, hey, thanks for your message. We'll get back to you shortly. See, that was how it was configured in OpenPhone. But if I send this through again, we'll still at least have some data in here. Okay, so here we are back at this, just run it once. So now if we put in our filter, we should have something in this. There we go. Right? And there it is. So where we had nothing before because we hadn't run it, there was nothing. There was nothing that we could pull from. So now that we've run this kind of scenario once, we're good. So this, if it contains case insensitive, this is if somebody's looking for hours as an example only, then we could say here hours. It could be capital or not. And then we can add an or rule, or does it contain, like that contain, say open, like what time are you open? Like these are the types of questions that people would ask, right? So based on that, then we can send a response. We can set up as many of these routes as we want. So I'm going to say booking, because if somebody wants to book an appointment, we can put in the object and then test, or even if it's a restaurant, booking a table, right? So we're going to say contains, case insensitive. Again, it doesn't matter if it's uppercase or lowercase. We can say book. And then we're going to add an or rule as well. And we could say appointment. This test. And then, of course, we want to say contains case insensitive. That's it. Like it's kind of the same thing over and over again. But as we type in appointment, or you can book, like I said, a table at a restaurant. We just click on that plus and we can add in another route. And we can continue on like this, as many as you need. But this one, I'm going to put in a filter of it being just our test. And this test is what is the route we're going to kind of test through, as it were, right? So we've got the text from this, it's the exact same thing. And we're going to say test, and I'm going to still put this as not equal to, but contains case insensitive, right? And then click OK. So now what we can do is we now have something that we can respond to. So based on what the new message that we get, we can respond based on that, right? Based on our filter. So if it's an hour or is it a booking, etc., right? So then here, we're just going to add in another OpenPhone module. Pretty simple. Click on OpenPhone, and then look at all of these options that we have here. You can update contacts, you can do all kinds of things, but we're going to send a message. So the content here is just, because this is the opening, we are open Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Simple, right? I mean, obviously you can put in more, and you can use ChatGPT to help. Now the from number, I've only got one number, but if you have multiple, you can change that. Now, as far as the to, sending it to, we're just going to map it back to that first module, right? Because that's the person who sent us the message to begin with. You're going to use the from. We're going to send to back to the person who sent us the message to begin with. So there we go. And we're going to just clone this guy. We're going to unlink. There we go. And then we're going to clone it again. If you're finding this content helpful so far, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps my channel out. And of course, the little bell icon so you don't miss future videos. Now, back to our video. And then we can just see, we just hooked all of this back up again. So there we go. Now we've got our 3 different bookings. And we can change up what the message content is, right? Making sure it works, because we've cloned the module. So we want to tailor these messages based on the question or the filter, if that makes sense. So you can book a time, and we can change this up here. What's cool is you can put in your Calendly link or whatever it is that you use for bookings. Or I can call you back at a time, actually, within one business day, because what's convenient for the customer may not be convenient for you as well, right? So we want to make sure that we've got that. If your matter is urgent, please call. If you have an emergency line, so XXXYYYZZZ, there we go. And this is pretty much it. So now that you've got all of these messages that you can send over and above what you've already got in your OpenPhone scenario. So now we've got our 3 messages that we can send based on whatever our customer has responded to, right? So back here, when we watch the new messages. So if they're asking a question about hours, we can answer that, et cetera, et cetera. So then what we're going to do is just move this over a little bit. We're going to put in a little sleeper, because you want to make sure that you're giving your customer a chance to respond to the message you just sent, right? So if you go in here, you just go into tools, and there's the sleep. You can go up to a maximum of 300 seconds. The delay is in seconds. 300 would be 5 minutes, but we're going to just say, for this purpose, say 30 seconds. And we're going to click OK. Now, if you say 5 minutes, you can add another one. So give the person 10 minutes or 15 minutes to respond. It's up to you what you want to do, but you can add multiple of these. So we can add this tools again here. And again, we're just going to say 30 seconds. And then we can click OK. And I'm just going to right click and clone it and attach it there. Delete this for a second. And now I'm going to use this magic auto line right there. There we go. Now we've got our 3 different routes. We're letting this sleep and rest, waiting for another response. Now I'm just going to go down this test arm, but they're all going to be kind of the same. So it's going to follow the same flow, as it were. So we've now sent them a message. We're waiting for a response. So now what we do is we can search text messages, right? So we're waiting for a response. We're looking for that text message to come in. But of course, I think I'm going to have to run this through yet again, just to make sure that we've got all of the data to be able to map. But for now, we're just going to put in what phone number, the same phone number that we've been using. You can map that one as well if you've got multiple numbers. Now the participant, we can go, so we're not going to have anything there. See, like I said. So what we'll do is I'm going to unlink this, and give me a second. There, I'm just going to run this, but I have to send in another message. So this is, of course, I'm using this phone to record. So I click a test. You can see that it's come up on my phone, and we're giving that 30 seconds. I'm just going to do this again, just in case. And it's come up again. So just to make sure that we've got something coming through, making sure it works. See, we did get that message back. Great. Now that it's asleep, I'm going to, there we go. So now we're just, I've come back. So now we can link this up. And the participant, we can now go back to that other message. So we've got the to, and the from is us, but the to, if we do this, it's this number. So this time it's the to, whoever we sent the message to, that's what we're going to put in. And then the created after, this is really important. We can just put in this created at time, because we don't want to have something that was created, like if we were dealing with them yesterday. Something like that. We want to make sure that it's that exact message and put the limit to 1. So we're going to click OK. There we go. So now we can search. We're searching text messages from me, basically. And then what we can do is we're going to go back into another OpenPhone, and we're going to get the text message. Because what we want to see here, this message ID, is going to come back from there, from the search text messages. So we can just click OK. So now we're going to get that text message. And now that we've got it, we can put in, I'll move this around, we can put in another router like this, right? So again, if you think about some of the possible dialogues back and forth that you might have with a customer, whatever makes sense, so here, this is just a test, but if we said like hours, it could be, oh, could I book an appointment then? Or something like that, right? So we start off with we're watching the messages. We're going to send this message based on, like, say, hours. We're going to sleep a couple of times if we want. And then we're going to search for messages, see what their response is, and we're going to respond to that, right? If it's a booking, whatever, that's kind of it. So what are your hours? We're Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. Can I book for this time? Sure. And then that's it, right? Like, we're going to just kind of kill the message after that. Because this could go on and on and on, but just kind of think about what that customer journey might be. And again, you can use tools like ChatGPT to figure that out. So now that we've got this text message, we want to put in, again, some more filters. But the thing is, we're not going to have any data to put into the filter. So here we go. What we're going to do is there. Now I'm going to put in another test. Here it is. And we're just going to use the existing data right here. Let it go through. Okay, so now I'm back. So now we can put in our filters, right? So we've got our text message here. So it's another, I just put in test, just really for demonstration purposes. So here we're going to say test is the label. The condition is that this message, there's the text right there, is equal to, or you can just, again, use your contains case insensitive. And I'm going to say test. So you can see it there. Boom. And then this one, we're going to set up a filter, and I'm just going to say the label, anything else, just for testing, because it's not going to go down there. So the condition, again, back to this previous module, we've got the text and then equals to anything else. So we know that that's not going to go down that arm. You know what I'm saying? And so here, depending on what that is, we can just kind of do, like, say, a final message back, like something that would close out the conversation. right? So we could send a text message, again, just saying, looking forward to seeing you soon, whatever it is, right? So because this is just a test, it's just thanks for your message. I'm just going to put this in. Test complete. And then, of course, again, the phone number that you use. You can map this if you've got multiple numbers. The phone number we're sending it to, it's going to be for this from. We're sending it back to the person we received a message from, if that makes it easier. And we don't need to worry about the inbox status. And then the same thing, we can just kind of do another open phone, send a text message, like look at all of this information. Okay, so now with the magic of editing, I could cut out some of that. But here's the full-on workflow. So I'm going to have this available, of course, for download in the description below. But you can really go through all of this. We're just going to click a quick, we're just running through this once. Yes. So there it is, your full-on scenario. I will have this downloaded or a link to this in the description below so that you can go ahead and play around with this with your OpenPhone account and, never miss a call again. So there you have it. You've got a way with OpenPhone that you can actually, within OpenPhone, respond to missed calls instantly, just within the phone app itself. This may be suitable for many use cases, but if you have a certain type of an operation where you may need to go back and forth, or you need to know what you're trying to help a person with, for example, if you're a plumber and somebody has an emergency, you want to be able to address that right away. Then we've got a make.com scenario so that you can kind of have a bit of a back and forth with that potential customer, and hopefully they're not turning to your competitor for a solution. And of course, you're not just limited to sending texts back and forth with potential or current customers. You can add contacts to your CRM through make.com, all sorts of wonderful things. So if you're interested in exploring other things that the OpenPhone module can do in make.com, then leave a comment below. And again, if you did find this video helpful, it would mean the world to me, and it helps my channel out a whole lot if you hit that subscribe button. And don't forget the little bell icon so that you don't miss future videos. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, happy automating.